Looks like we're moving
Yeah,
semi-normal.
yeah, it looks okay now, I think.
Go.
All right, so hey, I'm obviously kidRiot, and with me is we'll just go left to right. Introduce yourself. Stuck first.
Who's the
All
fuck?
right.
Oh, all right. I'm Stuke. I'm in Future Crew. I stream at Stuke75 on Twitch, and I've been in Future Crew since about March of this year.
And you were
All
new
right.
to Planetside, right? This is your first time in Planetside. That's what you were saying.
This is my first time in Planetside.
Well,
What do you mean?
playing Planetside. You didn't play Planetside one.
No, I did not play Planetside 1. I started playing Planetside 2 like February 2013, NC on Emerald. Spent a lot of time there and just became like a leader in one of like a big Zerg fit over there, and I just like burned myself out, man. I was just leading everybody
Yeah.
and just like well, you take in everybody, right?
Yeah.
And so you taking in everybody, I mean, you get a lot of people that are kind of difficult to deal with, and that's what I like about Future Crew the most. It's like everybody's so cool, and everybody's just like we just lay back and play video games and have a good time, and
Yeah.
hopefully win some money, right? So
Yeah. No, I
that's
got
my
you. I got you. And it's hard to go back to that. Well, actually, we'll cover that later. Why it's so hard to actually play with everybody else, outside of your buddies. And then next
yeah.
is HairyHandsome.
Hi, HairyHandsome. I'm a DA dude. I'm an officer. I started playing with DA maybe May of 2013, and
So, Deb,
when
so
I
both
joined,
of,
I
sorry,
had
both of you guys actually started playing
go
around the
ahead,
same
go ahead.
time. Then that's pretty interesting.
Yeah. I had been in beta a little bit, and I'd played a little bit of Planetside 1 as well, but really had no idea what I was doing. And then I started playing with some friends in DA and joined up, and I liked the way they played. Really fast, really intense, and you kind of had to keep up with the curve. So I
Right.
learned how to play really well from that, and it's a lot of fun. And like Stuke said, I enjoy playing with them because everybody knows what they're doing. They're there to have fun, and yeah, we want to be competitive and stuff. But at the end of the day, like it's a video game, and we have fun.
There you go. All right, go ahead, Tox.
Tox 5 with the Iron Wolves. Been with them for about a year now. Just making the NC as competitive as possible. And, we're always having fun. Pretty laid back outfit. Originally started in a different outfit, and then I wanted to play a little more hardcore. So I decided to find a good outfit, and been paying off ever since.
Sounds good. Actually, I know this isn't what I wanted us to cover, but you guys actually I didn't realize that you guys all started in different outfits and then eventually went to your current homes. So like, how was it? Like, did you hear about the outfit that you wanted to join, or did you see them, or like how did you even hear about in each case like Stuck with Future Crew and Harry with DA and Talks with like TIW? How did you guys hear about those outfits? Because if it's essentially you guys were new players. But you basically decided to say,
Right.
hey, I want to elevate my game. So how was that process for you guys? We'll start with Talks. We'll go right to left this time.
Okay, so I just started, I was in a like random outfit, having a lot of fun, and then I realized that I play this game more than anything else. And I saw, some MLG stuff happening and community clash stuff happening, and I was like, all right, let me try and make this outfit I'm in competitive. And when you try and force that upon people, it doesn't go too well.
Right.
So the next best option is to either start your own outfit or find one that's already going that's kind of competitive. So I ended up meeting Jax at SOE Live, and he's like, oh, come play with my team, we're competitive. And I was a little hesitant at first, but then after a while, he sucked me into that. So joined that, and then I kind of took over that, and we're ready now. So it's a different change for everybody, but you just got to know what kind of outfit you're in, really. Like,
Right.
Is it casual? Is it fun? Do you want to play competitive? And it's all about identity.
All right, go ahead, Harry.
All right. So I was in test outfit on Matherson when I first joined, and I had some friends who were like, "Oh yeah, let's play Planetside. It looks really fun." And I remember liking Planetside 1 a lot, but I had been a super competitive gamer in other games like WoW and stuff. I did the arena thing, and I think I just kind of like what Tox was saying. It just kind of evolved for me. Like, okay, I see what's going on the more I play this game.
Right.
And I actually got really lucky with DA because Quattro is a friend of mine in real life, and I've known him and his family for a long time. So he was like, oh, yeah, these are the guys I play with, and, we move really fast. And I was like, all right, let me try this out. And when I joined, I think I had like a .5 KD or something. It was just like, hey, guys, let me play with you. And then pretty quickly, it was like, oh, no, these guys are good. Like, this is what I enjoy. And, I mean, I think all of the people that play competitive Planetside really like a challenge and really like pushing themselves to get better and better and better. So I just fell in with a group that was like that. Ender has been a really cool guy. He's an excellent leader. He's really mellow, and I respect the way that he leads. So it was a natural thing for me to stick around and make myself useful. So I came from the same kind of outfits that most players play in, and I just found a group that I fit with, and that mentality worked for me.
All right, go ahead, Stuke.
So I started NC on Emerald with NC10, right? And this was on Soltech. And at the time, Soltech was a wasteland, man. There was nobody on that server. It involved ghost capping 24/7. We had like a couple good fights every other day, And I just like looked for the guys who like knew what they were doing, to be honest, because it was hard to figure all that stuff out. And so they reeled me in, helped me learn the game. I joined with them, started leading squads, doing weird stuff like that. I guess not weird, but leadership stuff, I guess. And then as you do more leadership stuff, they want you to do more and more and more. And after a certain time, you just get overwhelmed with it. And I just got really tired with it, and to the point where I was just going on, and I would stick with like a handful of guys that were in the same position as me in the outfit, who were just like looking for the good fights, looking to farm, looking to have fun, and not looking to guide 20 people all over the place. And so like once I reached that place, my KD on my NC guy went from like 0.8 to 3 point something.
Damn, that's
over the
big
course.
Jump.
Yeah, over the course of like just me learning the game. And I mean, that was my learning curve on that character, I'd say. And then, I started watching streams. I started getting more involved with the community, and I noticed that a lot of the good players were in Future Crew. Like Murda was somebody who I saw was in it. And I knew he was a really good player, so I decided to join, even though I had fought DA on Matherson a lot. And I knew they were good, and I knew AC was good. I was just, I don't know, there was just something about Future Crew. I liked the guys, and I decided to app them. And after, the application process for Future Crew is pretty long, because they want to weed out all the baddies.
Right.
Not only stat-wise, but personality-wise.
Yeah.
So we do that, and I got in after about, 3 months or something like that, and I've never looked back.
So there's like something in common in everything you guys said, and that's like when you play with these guys or girls, that you click with them, right? And it's not just like clicking with them, but it's like you expect a certain like level of play from these people. And so like when you go to SOE Live, and you've probably never met these people before. Like I went to Yet last year's, but I was in Recursion. Then like how was that for you guys? And then how was it for like when you walked actually on the stage to play? Like how was that experience for you guys when you were actually like next to your buddies, your comrades? We'll start with Stuke. We'll go left to right.
Sorry, repeat that. I was insulting Harry.
Oh no. No, it does look like butt. No, what I was saying is like, so like you hang with these people all the time, right? And I mean, yeah, you have your fun, but it's like way different when you meet them in person. And I think Harry and me were talking about this when we were casting, how it's really awesome to actually sit next to your buddies and play. Like, did that change anything for you? Did it make you like I don't know how to say it. Like, I don't want to say affectionate because that sounds kind of weird, but like, did it make you like grow tighter with your team? Like, do you think? I mean, is it just like a cool thing that you guys tell? Camaraderie. There you go. Yeah, I didn't want to sound weird about it, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. No, I feel like that in TeamSpeak, to be honest.
Yeah.
I always felt that was there. I mean, it's cool hanging out with the guys and, getting drinks with the guys. I mean, that's the point of SOE Live for me. And
yeah.
for I think almost everybody there is to just like meet those people that you know spend a decent amount of time with on your computer and just give them high fives and shit after winning. So, I mean, that's what it was all about for me. And the tournament was obviously a plus, even though I know some of the SOE employees feel like that you shouldn't be there for the tournament. But, you know, when you put money on the line, how can you not, you know, make that a background reason in your mind?
Yeah, we'll get into that right after this, actually.
Sure.
So go ahead, Harry. He's not even moving.
I'm just marveling at how awful my webcam is.
He looks like one of those
as long as my voice comes through this stream.
It looks like a trailer for those horror movies.
They tried to fix that painting of Jesus, and it just really didn't work out. Alright, so yeah, it's bad. Anyways, so yeah, for me, it's first of all the people that you play with. It's anything. Like that's the reason that you play. And even people that you play with, like Stuke was saying about the application process for some of the more competitive outfits and the tighter knit outfits, whether they're competitive or not, you're just trying to see if you click with people, and if you don't, they could be the best player in the world. You don't want, stat-wise, you don't want to deal with them because they're not a team player. They don't get along with you. They don't help you. Selfish, like that's such a huge part of any outfit doing well is just avoiding that and weeding that out. And so, you know, I think by the time you get the competitive outfit together, you get the guys from TIW, you get the guys from BA, Future Crew, TR had a good contingency, TXR, that when those guys are all together at a live tournament, they're usually pretty smart, pretty well adjusted people. Because they've been through that process with their outfit.
Usually pretty well adjusted.
When they're not drunk.
Usually.
Yeah.
There's some, well, you know, that's a different story. All bets are off at that point. But you just get to see these people that you've competed against, and then the best part for me is the people that I've competed with on my team, and I really have better experience, I think, going and playing side by side with everybody, because there's, for me, most of the stuff that I do, like I do a lot of film stuff, and that's all about being there, trusting the people that you're with, and getting the communication done so that you're effective. And I like being in person to do that. You know, you can send emails and talk all you want, but being in person for me was just a whole nother level. And at the end of the day, too, there's nothing, I think when you're not next to the people that you're playing against, it's easier for a lot of people to be sour, to say dumb things, and to be, you know, to complain about the process. But when you're right across from them, you know, you stand up, shake their hand, and you all go get drinks, or you all go hang out afterwards, and it's not a big deal, you know? So having that in-person element to me, for those reasons, was just huge.
And actually, I think,
a lot of fun.
I think that's actually a more interesting question than my original question was, how is it being next to your teammates playing? I think it's more like, I'm more interested in how is it being across from the people you're playing against, knowing that if you beat them, you're going to win money, and they may potentially not. So I think it was pretty interesting. I like that people shook hands. I know there's a lot of emotion involved and stuff like that. We're all adults, you know. So I think it was cool that people shook hands, regardless whether you like the person or not. You know, that was a really cool gesture, I thought, from everybody. You know, it's kind of like this universal thing.
Yeah,
it was like the unspoken gentleman's agreement, right? All right, go ahead, Tox.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so playing with them, the guys that usually play with online, and then playing with them in live, I totally sucked because the mics were just garbage.
Right.
But once we got all that shit sorted out, it was great. Like, we started talking, it was just like, oh, wow, no TeamSpeak. We have to use the in-game shit, and that's crap. But once we got that done, it was just great. I mean, you know, you see them in real life, and you're all sitting there waiting for the match to start, and like, who are we gonna play? And there's all this anticipation building up, like, oh, this is exciting, and you're actually there in person with your team, and it's really cool.
You hype each other up, basically.
Yeah, we're all getting hyped. We went over our plan like 400 times, what we were gonna do, and then you get into the actual match, and just because you know your guys so well, and you're able to just like go off, like if we didn't even have mics, I think we would have just done just as well. Like, our plan worked out perfect. We all worked great as a team. It was great. And then you know, right after the match, you know, we shake the team that we played against, shake their hands, and then everyone was just like real happy to be there. You know, it wasn't like on live where it's like you cap a base, then you get a hate tell or an accusation.
Yeah.
Everyone's just like, good match. Like, there's no bullshit. It's just straight up. You know, that's it.
Well, because I
Game
mean,
over.
you have to admit, being on the internet, I mean, you have like the cloak of anonymity, right? So it's like you can say
Yeah.
whatever the fuck you want, and it doesn't matter because like, what are they gonna do? Is basically it. But when you're next to the person, I mean, you gotta be a little accountable. But I thought, I mean, I think it worked out. But actually, so let's talk about the meat and bones. And like, I think it was unfortunately the biggest issue about SOE Live was the tournament, right? Like, it was. I mean, to me, there was no excuse for why it went down that way. I think they tried their best and it was cool, but there should have been maybe more forethought into it. I mean, they had a lot of resources to pull from, but we were all there and we all played. So I want to get your thoughts on it, because I mean, leading up to the tournament, like right before it, remember, like you would walk through the mezzanine and every team was like huddled together, right? It was like it was a really cool atmosphere. There was a lot of anticipation. I think if you talk to any team, they would have said, "Dude, we can win this," right? There was no fear. There was respect, but there was no fear, which is cool. And I think it could have potentially played out that way, but we never got to see it. So it's like, so I mean, let's just get overall thoughts. There's so much to cover. So just basically, just give your thoughts on what you think happened and why it went wrong, or just whatever. Basically, we'll start with talks.
Yeah, so compared to the previous year, much better. You know, this time it was teams fighting each other, and then they had this point system that would reduce people resorting to like cheesy things like everyone pulling a max or anything like that. And then it was supposed to be single elimination. So you show up, the better team moves on. But it didn't work out that way, so a lot of teams were disappointed. I know my team was very disappointed when we heard the final results for the quarterfinals or whatever. But you know, it was a step in the right direction, but I think everyone knows that they can do better, and everyone's expecting them to do better for next year. Or if we ever do have a I don't know, like every 6 month kind of tournament, that'd be cool too.
Yeah, I think the biggest hurdle to that isn't, because I mean, you have Jaeger, you have accounts. The biggest hurdle really is the stat tracker, like being able to push a button and see the score. Like, we just don't have access to that yet.
Yeah.
Okay, so you bring up a good point. Let's instead of focusing on general things, let's talk about the format, because I think a lot of people looked at the stream and they thought, like, you know, maxes 6-on-6, what's going on with this? But I'm sure, I mean, I want to say that maybe we all share the same opinion, that it was fucking badass. It was fun. Like, it was exciting. You didn't know what to expect. I mean, what people were doing actually meant a lot more in the 6v6 because of the point system. So talk about the format. Like, what was it like to play in it? We'll go with Harry.
Okay. Yeah, I thought the rule set, I thought the points, everything was spot on. It encouraged good play within that. The most of the bases, I think, were 4-minute caps. So within 15 minutes, you had some room to get some swings. I know what was disappointing to me is that they broadcast a few matches, but I wanted to see the ones that were really close battles. I know that there was a couple, like, right next to me. And so I thought the point system was spot on. I worked really well. People were complaining about the maxes, but I don't think they quite realized that it was a big risk to take a max and lose it. And that's, you know, it's, again, you said the shroud of anonymity. When people are sitting there in Twitch chat saying whatever they want, it's easy to bitch about it. But when everybody was playing with it, I think everybody said, this is a good rule set. This is what we want. We're happy with this.
Right.
I think those rule set, I agree with Harry. I mean, at first, you know, when RadarX posted that thing on Reddit, oh my god, I saw maxes and I was like, oh, what is going on?
Face
Like,
bomb.
they're going to be so powerful. They're going to be like, what are you doing? But it turns out when you take your 6 like top skilled people in your outfit and you put like one max in there, the max doesn't do much. He goes down pretty fast and it's very risky. So just the fact that they offset that, right, with the risk reward thing, right? The max was a presence, but the goal was don't die in it, right? So that's what our approach was. And I think in our semifinal match versus Harry, I think maybe there were only like 2 or 3 maxes the whole fight. I mean, we just like stuck to our roots, and we really figured it out. I mean, we didn't want to take the risk because we
Right.
all knew it was going to be really close. And
Right.
like the 15 minutes thing, I think the setup for the whole tournament in general, I think it was great. I think the execution blew. Was
Had they done it that way,
Yeah,
yeah.
it was
they
bad.
had the work done in the background. Malorn created a script. We brought up the denial thing, which was something a little later. So we were talking about, so what if your max gets low on health?
And you shoot him or
I'm just
something,
I'm just gonna team kill him. I'm just gonna team kill him so they don't get the 5 points. And then that's why they introduced a rule where it's like team killing is minus points. Don't do that,
Right.
Yeah, so I think they had to add that into the script, and that's why, maybe the guy forgot to do it the night before or something like that, but I think that's why they had to restart the first round. I don't quote me on this because this is just me guessing, but
Right.
I mean, everybody was at that point. But yeah, the execution was just really lacking. But I thought the prep work, the 15 minutes with the 4-minute cap, I mean, you could take the base, they could take it back, you could take it again, honestly, in that
Right.
amount of time. And yeah, I thought it was pretty spot on. I mean, as soon as they changed all the rules, though, I don't know if you want to ask everybody's opinion on that. I can wait to talk about that. I'm sure Tox has
Yeah.
plenty he wants to talk about
Right.
on that, but yeah.
But actually, Cheech brought it up, and this is what I want to talk about, the Stuke hammer, right? So let's talk about the situation, and I think it's really important. And okay, so you guys watch sports, right? I'm pretty sure. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So
Yeah.
say in the NFL, it's like there's or like in baseball, you have like the bases loaded, bottom of the ninth, right? You have like those like intense moments, or Michael Jordan shooting a 3 with the clock beeping in the air, the buzzer going. So you have those moments, and I think up until this point, Planetside 2 competitively was missing those moments. It's hard to catch, right? You're talking about like community clash in 24v24. Like that window of that moment wasn't 8 seconds like it was in this match. You're talking about like a 4-minute window of like stuff happening that could either determine the course of the match, right? Server Smash, that window is probably like, I don't even know, like 30 minutes. You're talking
You're
about
looking
like,
at the
Yeah.
map for that.
Yeah,
Server
basically,
Smash.
yeah.
I have no idea.
and,
Yeah.
and even in PAL, it's a little more like linear, right? It's not as intense or as urgent. And I think the beautiful thing about the 6v6 is that you had a story. And in this case, it was this guy right here stuck. And so 8 seconds left, DA could have capped it, and then he comes in and wipes the point. And I think that was awesome because it not only came up with like the term, and we all joke about the Stuke hammer, but it's those kinds of things stick, right? Those kinds of things that create narrative and story, and it's something we could all talk about. And I think that's why I think the 6v6 and with the rule set that Malorn said has a lot of potential to make this like maybe the most popular like event that we could get, as long as it starts going. So like, what do you guys think about that? Like, do you think there's like, there's legs to stand on with this 6v6 format, or?
You
One
know what
thing-
it is for me is it's all the first person camera. The first person camera and being able to really
Oh,
I mean you can
switch,
catch
yeah.
it on observer cam and you're right, having having less people, you have less to focus on.
Right.
But those moments with the first person camera, you can really see somebody go in and tear it up, and it's hard to imagine understanding what's going on in a first person shooter when you can't go first person.
Right.
So, definitely having that, like you said, it makes that tension so much more. You can create it a lot more. You can do a lot more with the narrative of the match, and that's a great thing to have. And the 6v6 is cool. It's awesome in terms of like doing it outside of in-person small tournaments like this. I'm not sure if 6v6 will keep going, although I like the format a lot.
Right.
But being able to see it the way that we did in that tournament, we haven't seen Planetside really like that before, so that was really cool.
Yeah, it was. Go ahead if you guys have anything to add. Just go ahead.
Yeah, it brings it down to like any other game, right? I mean, it's easy, like Counter-Strike and Call of Duty are all like 6v6, right? It's easier to pay attention to everything that's going on. But like you were saying, like with the sports, the reason why we were able to like have some of those moments is because there was a name behind it, right? And that's another thing that's really lacking from the competitive community is just like the names. I don't want to be Community Clash 06 or whatever, right?
Right.
So if everybody knew, I was the guy with the shotgun, they can make that association, and then like, oh, Stuke hammer all of a sudden.
Right. So you actually hear
like,
about
yeah.
it during the match instead of like on Reddit later or something.
Yeah. And I
Exactly.
mean, it helps that people like Toro are able to pull like stats from the match and everything and actually get the details behind it. But yeah, I think the player name, I mean, that's what it's about in sports. It's like the moment comes from the people. The moment comes from the people. So you have to know the people.
All right. Did you want to add anything, Tox?
No, you guys pretty much said it all, but it's definitely that whole like sports moment, you know, the what do they call that? Like the lone hero or whatever that pulls off the winning victory.
Yeah,
Those moments. It really brings that edge to watching competitive play.
Yeah, and I think too, like a lot of the times, even I've done some PAL scrims. I've never actually participated in PAL or Community Clash. I think I did one Server Smash, but there's more of a sense of urgency, right, in a 6v6. Like you feel like the weight of like time, pressure. I can't screw up. Like I have to get everything right. Or even if you do screw up, it doesn't mean that you're done. It means that you just got to work at it and come back. Because like the whole thing with the max, if you lose the max, I mean that's just basically one team wipe away from evening it out. So I think it was really cool, and I think you were right, Harry, about how you need kind of the first person cam to tell those stories, and hopefully there's a way to work out because a lot of the events have had production problems. So we'll see what happens. But you guys made a good point too, right? Like we're the ones playing the game and creating these matches and these moments, but it's like the community reacts a lot differently, right? Like they'll look at the 6v6 and say, well, that's not Planetside. This is Planetside. So it's like, what do you guys think about comments like that?
Anybody else want to take this?
Hater's gonna.
Yeah,
hate.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, you're always going to get those people.
Right.
And oftentimes, it's not bad that somebody has an opinion about it, but oftentimes it's people who don't play any competitive, and they're trying to tell you like what the competitive scene should be, and it's hard to take that seriously because there's great matches in 24s, there's great matches in Server Smash, there's great matches in 6v6.
Right.
It's all good as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I mean, it's true though. Reflecting Planetside as a game, you are cutting a lot of it out with the smaller matches. But the reason is it's just hard as hell to organize and hard as hell to capture all the sweet moments which make a competitive match, awesome.
Right.
Like Server Smash is like Planetside in its elements, right? You have air, you have ground, you have tanks, you have all the combined arms, right?
Right.
And yeah, you really can't get that because with getting those highlights and those moments, it takes a smaller amount of people because you have less things to manage. It's easier to know who's who and things like that, and it's easier to get everybody in the same place at the same time. So, I mean, the bigger it is, the harder it gets.
Yeah.
I had it.
That's what she said.
No, I wasn't going to do that. That's been dead for years.
Yeah.
So, for me, you were saying, Kid, about the 6v6, and for me, it's pretty relaxing to be in a 6v6. I mean, you have the competitive element, but I'm one of the guys that was looking at the map all the time in Community Clash and going, okay, what next? And in 6v6, it was like, I've got 5 other people I need to gather up. They're all right next to me, and we're all doing the same thing on one point. It was actually kind of relaxing for me, although it was still competitive and had that adrenaline going.
Yeah, I could see where Harry's come from. If you're like a leader, right, a bigger group versus a bigger group, I mean, there's more on your shoulders. You're leading more people. But like for me, I think there's more weight in 6-on-6 because if I die and I lose a 1-on-1 in that match, and I die, trying to clear the point, that there's less people to back me up. I mean, there's more. There's 6 people representing my outfit. I am one of those 6. In Community Clash, there's 24 people representing my outfit. Right. So it's just like there's more weight on my shoulders in a smaller match.
Yeah, and you never know what's going to happen, right? Like you pull out some crazy move like you did, which is pretty awesome. And that essentially, basically made you guys come out with money, right? I think if you guys had lost that, I don't think you guys would have gotten any money because you might have been like in 3rd or 4th or something. I'm not sure how that would have worked out.
Yeah, I want to say something about the money thing too. Go ahead. I just want to say something about the money.
Yeah, I don't honestly remember like all of it, to be honest, because it happens like so fast. But yeah, that was a clutch moment. We cleared the point, and I was just there to like wipe things up. To be honest, everybody else, Scourge, Base Tape, Shock, Toro, And I'm missing one person. Shit. Yeah, but we all did damage.
It's
Scourge.
Murda.
That's right, yeah.
Murda.
You're gonna get shit for that.
They were helping, and they got everybody weak, and I was there to help out and finish the job.
No, I mean, of course, it's a team effort. I was just trying to say that, like, sometimes even, it's like in sports, too, eventually it comes down to that one pass. So it's like there's like 11 guys on the field, but it's basically the quarterback and the wide receiver that are going to make it happen. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things that happens, and I think that's awesome. Like, that's what you really want in these kinds of events, right? Because then, like I said, you create, like, this attraction, like, holy shit, like, that's stuck, right? I'm sure when you go on the live server, you might get, like, some messages. Maybe not now, but eventually you might get some messages about it. And that's cool, man. I think that's really awesome. But go ahead, Harry, about the money.
Okay, so I think a lot of the stuff that happens when you're playing gets kind of inflated when the money is a prize.
Right.
First, I had to walk into the whole situation just going, okay, win or lose. If we win money, cool. If not, I'm not going to rely on that. What really frustrated me was that people who I've seen play excellent Planetside, top-notch Planetside, like Tox's guys, didn't get a fair shake at even just placing in the tournament. So the money is like, yo, it's cool to get some money in your pocket and stuff. But to me, it's like, this wasn't even the money that goes to everybody here, including, DA teams were placed second and third, which is cool. I mean, I'm happy for our guys, but you don't get to see a fair shake of these are the guys that are competing hard for money. These are the guys that won and get their next spot in the bracket.
Right.
So the money thing to me became like a sort of way to legitimize something that got like screwed up from the get-go. So it was cool to get money, but it didn't mean anything to me because I'm like, well, we didn't even get to play people in the fair shakeout of the bracket.
Right, and that's what happened in the first set of matches. I guess the first round, all the close fights, all those outfits, or all those teams were basically done. They were filtered out. They had no chance to even get in the top four.
Right, it was total bullshit.
Yeah.
And talks, I wonder, like, did they talk to you about it? Did you approach them and just talk about, like, how you felt about that happening? Or was it something where you just, like, okay, this is the way it's going down, it's a shit show, that's it?
They approached us. They were, like, really, like, fucking... We probably got, like, 150 apologies between the few staff they had, but, and, other players, too, were just like, that's bullshit. We heard the whole situation, and it was pretty much like it's kind of out of their hands. They couldn't really. This is the best that they could do. So I mean, it just sucks, but it didn't ruin our day. We had a great night that night that lasted till 8 a.m. the next night.
That's the best part, right? No matter what happens, you're still in fucking
Yeah.
Vegas with your bros.
Yeah, it was
dude.
good. I mean,
Yeah.
and the fact that we did so well, though. I was so impressed with how great everyone was working on a different computer with different settings, with a different squad setup. Just right off, I was so happy everyone did so well. Like that enough, just for me personally, like that was like good enough. Like I was like, damn, you guys did fucking awesome, and I'm proud of you.
Yeah, and I think it was really good. And like Malorn came on Sunday when I was streaming, and he said that basically it came down to the best of the worst choices. Like none of the choices that they would have made when they realized how much time they had lost were going to be good, right? And so they could have, if they had to, potentially shut down the entire tournament because of time constraints. But they said, you know what, it's going to hurt, but we're going to keep going because we all came to play. And like Harry said, it isn't so much about the money, but it's about having your shot to prove something, right? And it's not, well, having a shot to just fight, right, in even terms. And so I think a lot of people, like, it even hurt me because like the guys I was with the TXRA team, and they were super pumped, super excited, and we did well. We just didn't farm points. And so I think that's where, like, it really sucked because you went from like a really awesome bracket setting to the format basically making the worst possible setting for like the evenly matched teams. So it kind of went from like a good thing to a really bad thing in like 5 seconds. But
right,
yeah, everyone was playing. I mean, like based on a certain rule set, and then once the rule set got changed, strategies have to change. We were lucky enough to not play in the first round so that we could talk about how we wanted to change.
Yeah,
I mean. Yeah, like when Tox went up and RadarX whispered in his ear, like, hey, it's based off a total point score. I mean, I'm not. You probably like don't do anything for like half a minute, and then you're like, "What the hell did he just say?" Oh my god! All right. We got to charge him. We got to go get to this Sunday and farm everybody. It's like we got to talk about that before, and we got to luckily, plan that out. And Angry Joe pulled a ton of maxes, thank God, or else we probably would have got beat by Tox. But yeah, I mean, the organizational things, they happen all the time. I don't want to bring up some salty waters here, but I think it kind of happened in Community Clash with the unbalanced sides and stuff like that. But it happens. It's happened to us, and it happened to Recursion, it happened to TXR, it happened to TRG, it happened to TIW at SOE Live. So
yeah, I think you make a good point too, that like a lot of people, and I sound like a damn broken record, but nobody that's doing this is like a professional like esports, person, right? Everybody that's doing this, even the developers, nobody really has experience in this stuff. So it's one of those things where you gotta take the punches, as you kind of deal with things. But I hopefully, like I said, hopefully people learn from this and we move on. But I mean, we could talk about the tourney forever. I don't want to make the whole thing about that. Let's go on.
One last point though I want to make. So they talk about how it's not supposed to be a competitive event. It's supposed to be a friendly event and stuff like that. Yeah. But the moment you introduce the money, it is not going to be a friendly event.
We had that exact same argument last year, but last year it was on a live server. It was worse. As Tox.
It was brutal.
Yeah, so just the money ruins that. If you're gonna build in money, you need to get the resources.
Right.
That's it. Yeah.
No, I agree, and I think they're aware of that. So hopefully we see some stuff, but. We're actually burning daylight here, so I want to talk about something that's been. I don't know if do you guys read Reddit a lot?
Yeah, unfortunately.
I try and get on there a lot. Yeah.
So like this is kind of like one of those like cycles, right? Like the idea of meta, like it kind of pops up every now and then it goes away. But recently it popped up again with a post by Mustard, and then Higby actually responded. And so like to me, my opinion is that meta is like one of those things that could mean a lot of different things, right? Like it's like a word like balance can mean a lot of different things. The word nice can mean a lot of things. The word fuck can mean a lot of different things. And meta and meta is one of those, right? So how do you balance that out? Like developers have their vision, we have our vision. Like is meta even important? And why is meta even a thing in Planetside 2? Where when you look at Counter-Strike, you look at Battlefield, you look at COD, nobody talks about meta at all. So what do you guys think about that?
Well, Planetside in and of itself is, I mean, I think the whole meta thing comes from the fact that what you're doing when you're playing the game is really playing a bigger game, which is capture this base, that base, and the alerts pick specific places you're supposed to do that at. I think maybe what sparked this was that Mustard post about, this is. I didn't read into all the details, but it was basically like whatever meta the game had has totally changed with some decisions they've made in the past couple months. Right. For me, the meta right now is sort of chaos because the new resource system allows people to pull anything and everything all the time. It really isn't that much of a constraint. If you can keep your tank alive for a little bit, you can pull another tank straight away. Same thing with a max. So I think it's important in Planetside because really that's what you're doing. If meta means the bigger sense of things, you're constantly playing towards a bigger sense of things. Right now, I feel like with the resource changes, the alert changes, it's not really something that it's one of those terms that gets beat to death. But if you really just want to look at it and say the big picture of the game right now, when you're in the game, is very unfocused.
I think so. This is how I define meta. Meta game to me means the game within the game. Right. Metadata means the data about a bunch of data. So like meta is kind of a recursive thing. So when you say metagame to me, I think of what am I doing in the game that's like kind of a gain on its own. So like resources, like me balancing my resources is kind of a meta game. Me, throwing anti-vehicle grenades everywhere to try and get my heavy assault directive is metagame, right? I'm playing that game within a larger game. So that's what I think of to me, and I think there's too much metagame in Planetside right now, and I think that's why everyone's kind of gone crazy. It's because, we're messing up these aspects, and we're introducing these aspects, and I don't know what the hell to do anymore because neither of them are finished things, right? They're all in
Right.
phase 1.
They're all
like
in
the
phases.
mission system.
Yeah.
The mission system's been in phase 1 for like the last 4 months or something like that. I don't know. The metagame is just like, it keeps you busy. It keeps you coming back.
Right. But you said something really interesting. And sorry, Tox, I know you want to go, but like basically meta means different things to you, right? So basically, in my opinion, everybody's right, but everybody's wrong about what meta is. Like if you look at other esports, and I hate the term esports, but that's what they are. Like League of Legends and Dota, meta to those games means how the top players in the game are playing the game. Meta is completely different than Planetside 2. You know, you could equate meta to like the NFL of like what the top, you know, wide receivers are doing with their outs or whatever, their cuts or whatever, how they play the game. So that's what meta means in the context of other video games. But for some reason, Planetside 2 has like this really strange perception of it, and I really don't understand it. But go ahead, Tox.
Yeah, meta. That's you know, I've been around a bunch of games, and I asked that question to people ever since it was brought up on Reddit side. So, no, what's the meta of the game? And most of them go, "What the fuck are you talking about?" And basically, like, anytime someone wants to have the meta discussion, I let them to define what meta means.
Right.
Most of the time, they can't do it competently, or they say it's how you win, or they say it's how you play the game. And like, to waste your time with the whole how you win and how you play the game, like that is just such a wasteful argument. I don't even think it's valid. It's like, you have to cap a base. I mean, you just cap the bases. Well, that doesn't make you a winner. It's like, well, then you win the alert. It's like, okay, you win the alert, but then we'll win the next alert. I'm like, okay, so then how's that different from Counter-Strike or Call of Duty? And it's like, well, you can win the round. It's like, oh, well, they can win the next round. It's like, well, then you go to a different server and win that round. It's like this is, see how childish it has become? And it's just that, like, regurgitated. So, like, there are basic strategies for everyone to follow, and I know that varies. That does vary, but, you know, it's like, okay, let's get a gal drop, and let's get a Sunderer, and we'll attack the base with some tanks and some air. And it's like, that's the basic technique for the game. You know, you take territories, or you just farm. That's fun, too. You know, you drop into a fight that has nothing to do with your faction, and you just do some farming.
Well, you made you said something really interesting, and it's kind of like, when does it stop, right? So typically, I think what a lot of people are talking about when they say meta is they want a win condition. They want to say, we did this and we won, whatever it means, whether it's a base or whatever it is. So people want a win condition.
You get your outfit decal on the bases now, which is really cool.
Yeah, I think it's awesome, and they're looking to.
They got a lot of beautiful decals you can choose from too. Like
our outfit decal is on a lot of bases.
It's like 4 or 5 different outfits have that decal. Yeah. I killed a prey guy the other day, and he had the decal. But so it's like, so I mean, how do you think the game would be different if there was a win condition, right? And what does that even mean? So I'll say, Future Crew wins Indar on Connery. What does that even look like? Like, what does that mean? Like, how would you envision that?
Future Crew winning Indar on Connery.
Yeah.
Would it be a base cap, and for every base in the name of Future Crew, praise Lord Vanu, and a continent lock. I guess that's what it is today, right?
Yeah.
I mean, what if we could put a continent lock in an outfit's name? That might be cool. I don't know. That would add more of a victory feeling, right?
Yeah. Who did the most? But that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not too bad. That's like a 2-hour window usually. Those alerts. But I know.
You know what I want?
Go ahead.
I want. If anybody ever played Dark Age of Camelot, it was a similar setup where it was 3 different empires sort of going after each other. And there were, first of all, I don't think you have to be careful with win conditions, because win conditions can mean too much. And you don't want to make something. They won't ever put something that actually shuts down what's going on in the game. They want okay, this win condition happened, continent locked, on to the next one. So number one, I think for those conditions those win conditions that are already in the game, they have to make them a little bit more palatable to move on to next. I don't know if you guys know, like, when a continent gets locked on Emerald, people just sit around and they won't move to the continent that just opened up. So that's they have like unclosed loops sort of with their metagame now, at least the way that I see it. And then, you know, in Dark Age of Camelot, there were relics for each empire, and it was a big deal to get all your guys together and go grab relics. So something like that, I think, would be a great win condition to add, because it would just be a lot more. It would be another thing that was, a challenge and was a big scale for players. If the metagame in Planetside 2 is supposed to be that scale, that win condition.
So how would you translate the idea for Alex? Like, did they give like faction buffs, or like, how would that look to you?
I believe there was something like that in Planetside 1. I think it was like Link Lattice Unit.
Yeah,
or
the
something
LAUs.
like that. Yeah. So something like that. I think they already have plans for what they've done. They just need to do it. They need to implement it in Planetside 2, rather.
Yeah. So what do you think talks about all this?
how'd they keep Planetside 1 alive? Maybe they should look at that more.
I don't know. I don't really feel like there needs to be an NPC that stands up and says, "Good job, Iron Wolves. You guys saved the day." Like, I don't play the game for that. I play the game because it's fun and I like the non-stop battle. So for all those people that are like, "Oh, we need the victory condition. I need to show how big my E-peen is at the end of the day." Like, I don't care about that. Like, keep the battle going. Let's just keep killing each other, and that's what it's about.
Yeah, shoot dudes in the face, right?
Yeah, I don't really care if the outfit base says, captured by whoever. Like, I don't care. Like, it's fun. It's a nice thing. I'm glad they added it, because it's just fun. But I don't really care that, oh, the Vanu have to win this or the NC have to win this. Like, let's just keep playing, because no matter what, the battle's not stopping. We don't have to log out to a different server.
Okay, so we're kind of theory crafting here. So if you guys could put like one thing in the game, like what would it be? It could be anything. It could be a weapon, an idea, a design thing. Like, what would you guys put in the game to make it like really pop and stand out to you? Like that to kind of like push it a little forward into the genre. Is there like one thing that you would like to see, or one thing that pisses you off about the game?
You only have one chance to answer.
No, if you could turn off the chat box.
Yeah.
Tired of the trolls. Sometimes just get under your skin a little bit.
Yeah.
No, I think it would be, especially for the way that this is purely selfish, but the way that DA plays, having like the Link Lattice unit, something like that would be like a VIP element.
Yeah.
Where you'd capture something from the other empire, and then your guys have to hold it as you move it to your base or whatever. I don't know. I'm just looking for more stuff like that, because jumping from base to base back and forth gets a little exhausting.
I think Battle Islands getting some sort of isolation, like doing a matchmaking system, like some sort of metagame like that might be a great idea. And another thing that I would love to see in the game is like moving terrain. That is like something I miss from like Halo and stuff like that, where you would follow cover of like a box on a conveyor lift or something that. I think that would be awesome in the game, and it seems kind of easy, right? I don't know, but I would love to see that.
I don't know, dude. They had enough problems with trying to break down one box at a base into one solid item instead of 6, so...
Yeah. Don't talk about barrels.
They did say that the next battle line is going to be that cityscape, so it should be pretty interesting to see what they're going to put into it.
Cityscape would be great. Obviously works well in other shooters.
Yeah. I'm interested in a really like isolated setup where, I can decide if there's vehicles or something like that. I don't know if there's a player base to do that, but I think that would be really cool.
All right, so we're going to go back. We're going to end it in a few minutes, but we're going to go back to where we started SOE Live. Like, outside of the tournament and obviously the shenanigans, like, what'd you guys think about it? Like, the panels, the presentations, like, what'd you guys get out of it, if anything?
Great.
What's one word?
No, yeah, it's so much fun. You really can. If you have friends in the game and you enjoy playing this game, and then to go real life, meet them and talk about the game and just have fun with everyone, even the people that kill you or the people that you farm or they farm you, whatever, it's just so much fun. I ended up hanging out with DA and Future Crew for like 4 hours. It's like, aren't you guys enemies? Well, yeah, but in real life, we're friends, and you just have so much fun.
Yeah.
And you get blasted too. Somebody bought a bunch of liquor. I was drinking for free all night. It was great.
Awesome.
Yeah. That was paid for by Future Crew winnings, everyone. So that was for the community. So yeah,
you guys are great.
Yeah, I thought it was great, man. I thought the opening keynote, I thought that was awesome. They're like statistics about like people who were there, biggest Zerg fit, biggest farmers and stuff like that. I thought that was cool, and the rivalry stuff. And then we had one of our guys standing up for Scourge every announcement because he has way too many points for one lifetime. Yeah, and it was great, man. I was just hanging out with everybody, and at the end of the day, even though we just, we're fighting and everything like that, we're all just people playing a game that we really like. And when the tournament's over, we're just all having a good time with each other, all sharing booze. And Vonik and I are doing a damn tandem stream and crazy stuff like that where I'm pressing WASD, man. Yeah.
It looked like fun.
So it was such a good time. And, I wasn't even paying attention to the time. And the night was just going on, and I looked down, and it's like 5 a.m., and I'm like, holy shit. Like, it was great. I loved it. It was so much fun.
Yeah, anything to add, Harry? Or
Yeah, on the dev side of things, I loved the transparency, being able to walk up to somebody and go, hey, is this really what's going on with the game? And get like a personal face-to-face answer about like, okay, that's what you're doing. And then they did the AMA, which I thought was great. Just being able to walk up there, I think you have a lot of people who really love this game. It's a tight-knit community. It's not so massive that you can't answer people's questions. Everybody gets a fair shake to say, hey, I've played this game for over 1,000 hours, and I'd like to know this about it.
Yeah.
So that was really cool, and I think that was a good lesson for me too, that if you want a question answered, just go up and ask somebody. Don't sit there and be upset because you don't know what's going on with the game.
Right. Well, that's like anything in life too, really. If you want to know the answer, you got to ask, right?
Well, right, but that's why I think that the tough thing is that's why you see a lot of like keyboard warriors who are really upset about something, and you just want to say, hey man, you can go up to these people and ask. Like, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
But as far as the thing that really stuck out to me was just hanging out with everybody. And as far as like, this is a game I play for fun, and as far as like rivalries and all that stuff are concerned, like that doesn't mean anything to me. I like to hang out with these people. We're all the same kind of people. We like to drink. We like to have fun. We have fun playing Planetside. But we can talk about anything. We can talk about what we do outside of Planetside. We can talk about. We can meet new people, and there's stories we all have, like Stuke was saying about him streaming with Vonik. I thought that was hilarious. Everybody can have those stories, and then you want to come back next year. It's just about having fun, and we play the game to have a good time.
Right.
And if you wanted to play something that you weren't social in, you'd go play any first-person game that, Skyrim or whatever. But this is Planetside. We all talk to each other. We all talk shit. We all have fun. And so being able to get together with everybody in person and just like, hey, this is who we are and this is what we like to do was the best part for me.
Yeah, that's a good point. So last question. I asked a few of the guys on Sunday. And I don't know if I asked any of you guys, but like, why Planetside 2? Like, what is it about this game that keeps you coming back? Well, anybody can answer. Okay, I'll answer for me.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Oh, hey. No, okay, what it is for me is the community. It's exactly what you guys are saying. Like, I played Planetside 1, and I ended up joining an outfit then. And like you said, you join an outfit, and you just click with them, right? And it's like all of a sudden, like, you play with these people for so long that when you actually play the game, it's like you do things without even thinking about it, right? Like, it's about like covering, breaching rooms, shit like that. And it's an awesome feeling. It's like being on a sports team. I don't know if you guys been on a championship sports team, like stuff like that's like a similar feeling of like that camaraderie and that synergy. And I think a lot of it is like when you find the right outfit, you find that same kind of good feeling when you play. You know what I mean? And we all have fun. It's like you do whatever. But for me, it's the community coming back. And to be honest, the developers, I think they're a lot different than a lot of developers out there too. So those are the two things for me that keep me coming back.
Yeah, I just think it's a whole outfit mindset, really. I think that's a huge part of it too. And I mean, I was always looking for a game like Planetside. When I was a little kid, I used to play like Command and Conquer, right? Red Alert or whatever.
Yeah.
And like my ideal game was that I could go in as one of the guys on that infantry, on that field, right, on that map, and be like a first-person shooter of one of those guys. I was like, if you can make a game like that, I will play it all the time. And like Planetside is like as close as it gets to that. I mean, it is like spot on. Everything is organized. You know, you have your outfits. You have like so many different aspects of the game. Just the experience you can have and you can create for yourself is really what makes it like such a great game for me. And the reason why I come back is because I like the people too in it, right? I love my outfit. I mean, all the other guys are really cool too, talking to Tox and Harry and everybody in DA, and I think there was one other guy in TIW. Yeah, it was a really good time, and we're all really alike. I mean, so it's just great fun, man. Good fun, yes.
Yes.
All right. Number one for me is the people I play with. And I don't know if anybody has ever been in our team speak, but we sit there and talk shit and make jokes when we're not doing ops, like nonstop. So for me to get in there and run my big mouth, I'm really happy to do it. But, you know, so number one is the people I play with. Number two is I'm sure that a lot of the competitive players can agree with this too. I'm OCD about stats. Like, I want to see my stats go up. I want to get better with a gun. I want to be a better player. I want to beat this guy the next time I fight him because he beat me this time. So that, you know, that sort of self-challenge is, and it's in Planetside, it's hard. It's not, you know, BF4 and stuff like that, it bores me because if I can beat the 12 people or the 20 people that are against me on the map, that's it. That's easy. Planetside, you're jumping around so much and you're getting shot by tanks, which is frustrating, but at the same time, it's not easy. It's not something you turn around and go, okay, like I can win every time. I can get a 20 KD. Like,
random
it's
elements,
not easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, random elements. It pisses you off, but then you turn around and put your head down and try and deal with it. And, you know, and then, shit, aside from the self-competition, sort of like you said, playing with other people and having that synergy and where you get so good with each other, you don't even need to say anything. You're just taking care of business. That to me is like an adrenaline rush the whole time. So those three reasons, you know, the competition with myself, the competition with my teammates against other people, and then ultimately enjoying the teammates and enjoying that time that I play with them because we're just making jokes and being goobers the whole time.
All right, go ahead, Tox.
Yeah, pretty much the same answer. You know, you meet your outfit, you get to find a good outfit, and it becomes like your second family because you hang out with them so much, you play with them so much that. Sorry, I'm getting rage tells right now. That it's like when you're not with them, you don't feel right. Like, fuck, man. You know, shit's boring. Like, you wish these guys were with you at work or fucking at your house, you know, just because, like, you can relate to them so much.
Right.
And then the game never stops, so you're always playing. There's always something to do.
Yeah, it's dynamic.
And if you want, you could always play another game, too, with the same guys, and it's fun. It's fun to, like, maybe, you know, take an hour to play, like, a round of Counter-Strike or something like that.
Right.
And, but this game, you're not going to get the experience anywhere else. You're not going to be able to play non-stop like any other game. I mean, I know there's other games out there like WoW or something where you can play non-stop, but you're just not going to have that same fast-paced action.
WoW's for pussies.
Yeah, I don't think it's anywhere near as challenging. There you go.
God.
It had to be said.
Yeah.
But I think Planetside 2 is a very deceptive game, right? Like, if you just look at it from the outside, it seems like a super casual game, but really at its core, it's incredibly competitive. And I think like once more people learn why it's competitive or what that means, they'll get hooked like we are. And I think that's what I'm hoping for because, you know, it's going to come out eventually on the PS4. Who knows when? But you're going to get a whole new flood, a whole new generation of gamers playing this game, you know, and they're not going to know what the hell's going on, right? So I think it'll be pretty interesting to see what happens.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens.
It's going to be fun.
That's it. Do you guys have anything like last things? If you want to plug whatever you're... I mean, I have your...
Who's getting the PlayStation 4 version just because they want to play it on PlayStation 4?
I'm tempted. I was like completely not interested, but I'm 50-50 now, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm tempted to do it because... Yeah, I'm tempted to do it because I'd like to play on something where the hardware doesn't lag the game. It can actually handle what it's doing.
Yeah, that's the worst feeling, to lose a one-on-one because you were hitching or something.
Oh my god.
That kills me.
I'm in it for the Zephyr Lips, man. At first, oh my god, it's gonna be ridiculous.
Just walk away with the best stats possible.
Yeah,
Oh, well,
come on,
Just quit after like the first 2 months.
I mean, you
Oh,
got
yeah.
like 2 people in Future Crew who basically tore everybody up on release. It was the Zephyr and the Daltons because they were insane, and nobody knew how to fly, right? So the first guys that basically mastered it were like the kings of the hill for a long, long time, man.
Yeah,
That's how you get a lot of shit talkers,
Yeah,
like QRY, because those guys started so early that they just like they crushed the air when they got in, man.
yeah. Or who knows? And I think it'd be pretty interesting to see. And all those fans, I don't think there's going to be a separate Reddit for the PS4 Planetside 2 fans. I think basically everybody's going to go into one Reddit, right? And so,
Oh, good God.
yeah. So we'll
I have
see.
12-year-olds tell me that they're gonna bang my mom.
Oh god,
It's
yeah.
gonna be good.
All right, so that's it, guys. You guys want to add anything? Last things to say? Final words? Anything?
Nah, man, get your outfits to compete, whether it's Community
Yeah.
Clash or PAL or whatever. Like, you play, you get better, and everybody plays against each other, and that's the most fun thing, is to see the narrative of the teams playing against each other, who wins, who loses, who comes back for revenge. So play, keep supporting the game that way.
Yeah. Talks, Stuke. Anything else?
Yeah, man. Just if you haven't tried out PAL, try it out because it's a lot of fun and it really changes your the way you play live. It really does. It's Pro Arena League is the abbreviation, but
Yeah.
you know, just keep playing the game. And I can't wait for more stuff to come out.
Yeah, it's good to get, if you're an outfit leader, it's good to get your outfit exposed to some of that scrimming stuff because it is a whole new world, and you'll probably like it twice as much than you like fighting on live because it's just no crap that you just, if you don't like something, make a rule that it can't be there, and you can just do whatever you want. But yeah, I mean, just fighting, like scrimming, we had scrim against TIW a while ago, and there was definite like improvements from everybody, and it's just like fighting someone where it's so much more even. It's just like so much more on the line. You're so much more into it, and it's a good time. And then my plug, Stuke75 on Twitch, Bro Stream for life.
All right.
Bros,
Well,
unite. Unite, my brothers.
That's about as good as a way to end it as there is. So, all right, thanks for coming aboard, Stuke, HairyHandsome, and Tox. I'm kidRiot. I'm actually hairier than HairyHandsome by a large margin, I think.
Let me bust my chest out later, okay?
Ah,
We'll do that off stream.
Yeah, next SOE
You guys
Live, we'll do
compare
that.
asses.